Medley-Sokoler, Louisville Real Estate Show, News Radio 840 WHAS. Hello.
Hey, Bob. This is Jennifer.
Yeah.
My mom died 2 weeks ago. Do I need to wait 6 months to list her home?
Sorry to hear about your mom passing away. Chuck, what's the law on this?
Typically, no, you don't have to wait 6 months. The whole idea of 6 months is the claim period from the time you file the probate to when you can disperse money. What I would suggest you do is if she has a will, even if she doesn't have a will, get probate set up. Then you can list the house as soon as probate is set up.
So explain that to me and others who have no clue. What does that mean by setting up
if she has a will, go to an attorney. I know a ton of attorneys who do this sort of work.
And do you do this as well?
I generally don't. It's kind of an area in and unto itself, but I know the people who do it. So if I don't do it, I know who does.
So they set up...
Yeah, what they'll do is they'll take the will, they'll probate the will. That is to say, they go in front of a judge. The judge passes on whether or not it's a self-proving will, or if it's not, then they'll get witnesses in, et cetera, et cetera. It's usually a very simple process. Usually can be done within a couple of weeks. And once that's done, then the will is sent over to the county clerk's office so it can be picked up whenever we run title. But once you've gone and set up probate, then you can go ahead and list it.
So, and just to be specific, once you've set it up, you're talking about actually having the judge approve it, that it's proved itself. And then once the judge has approved it, then you can move forward with listing and selling your house.
Then go ahead and list. Then the will indicate whether or not the personal representative has the power to sell the property. If they don't, then you need to make a motion to sell the property, that kind of thing.
Okay.
If there is no will, then you're going to go in and set up probate, but you won't have a will to set up, so you'll have an administrator as opposed to an executor, and then you'll have to petition the court for the power to sell property.
So I think what's probably equally important to Jennifer's question is the fact that all people who are listening to us, do you have a will? I think it's so important. I know, Chuck, you do wills, and it's so important to have them. So in the event that something happens to you, there's a written chain of succession as to what happens.
Yeah, and in all reality, a will is a good thing. Everybody ought to have them. Along with it, you do a durable power of attorney, a healthcare surrogate, a living will, that kind of thing. So it hits all the angles. But you know, the intestate, the statutes for intestacy are not that horrible. It's not like you see on TV where, the government's going to get your house.
Yeah, right.
For the most part, it's normal. It goes along the lines of where most people would generally have their property, but still best to have a will. It's much quicker. Reason being, if you have a will that says the executrix or executor has the power to sell, then they can just go ahead and do it. Okay, no fuss, no muss. If you don't have a will, you have to actually get court permission, and that can be as much as 30 days notice, then about 30 days, 20, 30 days to get the hearing in front of the judge, and then you have a mandatory 30-day waiting period.
So, I actually have one of those right now.
Yeah,
they were unaware of it when they started the process.
Yeah, it's one of the
buyer was.
It's one of the few situations in real estate law where a deed is void in the Latin ab initio from the very beginning. A lot of deeds can be voidable, but those are deeds that are void from the very beginning if you try and do the closing within that 30-day period.